Always pause to see if anyone's going to join the stream, but I feel like I'm starting out very small right now, and so um, oh, that's right, promotional work. Okay, I gotta promote my channel. I let people know it's all happening now. Yeah, it's exhausting. Let's see here. All right, go to every Discord I'm part of and say, oh. I typed "Hey I" and hit enter on accident. Hey I, a with Bevy. Um, yeah, okay. Just say game dev with Bevy. That's nice. That's simple. It's probably better if it's shorter, you know. Let's see here. Here we go. What? Oh yeah. I don't think big mode. Yeah, that's right. They don't have a thing. Vulkan game engine Discord. Yeah, I'll put it there. And I think that's like it. Yeah. Whatever. Okay, let's see here. Um, so why don't we transition into this and yeah, I'm doing the whole screen. That's right. Okay. So let's see here. Oh, first things first actually is let's I can show you how the Boyd's thing went because I did that like a week or two ago. And oof, boy, I had to make a lot of corrections. In fact, I still do. Certain things were wrong. Okay, so let's go over some of the first basic ones. So the steering, I renamed a few things based on the paper to make it a little bit more accurate to anybody who may be familiar with Boyd's. Um, so you name it after things that seem to be common. So these, I can't remember what I called them before. Boyd behavior, I think is what I called them, but I renamed them to steering behaviors because that's what they are. Let's see here. Yeah. Before I was not checking flock size, which is important because sometimes it was 0, and then you'd get back. We'd be getting back the NAN, like the sort of non-existent or whatever result. I can't remember for non stands for like infinite or it's bad. Basically, it's bad, which is why all those Boyds were disappearing. The other thing is that a little bit of the math for each behavior is different, and I didn't really take all this to account. So some of the vector stuff was just off. Getting the average makes sense, but there was like limiting for position. Hold on a minute. Let's see here. Oh wait, I have a change. What change? Oh right. Whatever. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I was like, I feel like I edited a few things. All right, let's go back to steering behaviors. Yeah, here we are. So, velocity now, velocity and acceleration have value in max because that's there to cap and kind of limit. Well, here it doesn't limit it; it actually sets the velocity, or in this case, like position. It's kind of weird, but they're all multiplied by this value to give it some magnitude. So for like separation, for instance, let me think here. Is this really good for separation? Huh. I guess so. I'm a little confused because I thought the distance was supposed to be doubled. I think I messed around with it a little bit more to try to get something that made as, I don't know, as a realistic effect as possible. And I did so many little. I mean, I think this is where we left off. So you can see I've done quite a bit. Um, and I'm sorry I didn't show it. I was just like really determined on making it work. And I only got it to work like here. So kind of halfway through. And even then it was kind of weird. Um, but anyway, yeah. Again, the coding train. And I think I put another reference to Natsu Anon. This GitHub repo was really helpful. So yeah, I'd say go check those out for a little guidance. But anyway, yeah, taking like certain things like a relative velocity, clamping the magnitude of it, and having the effectiveness. Um, yeah, neighborhood. I think I named them each specifically because they each have a different distance. Um, and so all the neighbor checking is taking, that distance and angle, but ultimately passing in a few other things. um I think, which one doesn't use, oh, they all use the same thing. Of course they do. It's kind of weird. It feels like should just be one function because it's just the same code over and over again. But honestly, before I even refactor that, well, I'll show you. We have two types now. We have some bigger units and some smaller ones, and as well, I made a bundle for Boyd's because this is all the values that goes into it. Felt like it was getting a little chunky, and for the big one, of course, I plug in specific values. But yeah, so setting the steering factor, doing the neighborhood. Oh yeah. This is okay. So this is where the distance stuff happens for separation. But anyway, yeah, a little bit of refactoring. So it's still feels kind of bulky, but I think it's cleaned up nicely. Um, and then for movement, let me see here. I did not do anything based on time, especially if I do it twice, because doing it, I know kinematically, technically, you should. And I know for especially game engines, setting it by some delta time is really important. But it always ended up really messing with the results. And not that I really want to mess with that from this point on anyway, because frankly, there's a part of me that just thinks I should work on like using shader code and a few other different approaches, which would probably mean that a lot of the stuff's going to get like reworked or refactored, so much so that it's kind of pointless. But anyway, at least it'd be pointless to refactor small things if I'm going to be using like a completely different approach. Because even though this runs okay, it's, I've seen people run it with like a million Boyds. So I'm like, okay, I'd like it to be more performant. But anyway, I'll show you what we've got. And I'm pretty proud of it. Just as soon as it finishes the final build step, it's going to be good. I feel like a politician now. I'm like, don't you wait. Don't even worry about it. We're so close. I am beginning to worry. I'm beginning to feel fear again. Boy, this feels absurd, doesn't it? Okay, here we go. Yay. Oh, they're a little fidgety, aren't they? But they're kind of moving correctly. I thought it'd be neat. Oh gosh, the big ones. Yeah, these are kind of flapping around a little bit. I thought it would be neat to have. Jeez, I thought the acceleration was turned down on this. It also feels very crowded. If I loosen it up here. Yeah, it's kind of okay. They still get into this weird thing where they're like following each other's trail. And I feel like I'd love to see a lot more, I don't know, like a lot more flowy change in direction. And it's hard to get all that stuff to work properly. Voids are weird, man. They're really weird. Eh. This is kind of insubstantial, but okay. Whoops. No, that's not the one. You. All right. Okay. Well, now what I'd like to do is show something else I've been working on. I don't have a lot of time today to delve into anything very big, so I'll just, well, why don't I run it first? Because I feel like that's a good way to really show it off. So I have something called the Hill Builder, and I'm just building it for the first time because I've worked on it on my laptop. So it looks like we are going to talk about it. Because this will take a few minutes. Okay. So this is everything I got to work so far. It started with a little idea of like, if you have like a field of blocks and you click one, what happens if you want to like move a block up or down and affect the neighboring blocks? So this was just kind of getting those basics put together. I have this kind of map generator thing, but it's going to take maybe a little extra tweaking. What I want to work on next actually is camera controls. I say shader code because frankly, if I'm going to be having anything large enough, it takes a minute. You'll see the levels take a minute to load. And I'd like them to move a little faster, especially again, you have enough blocks. Not only does it take a while to load, I'm sure watching them all shift will be a little unperformant. Well, it'll decrease performance as we add more, but yeah, and then there's just some extra notes to do. So having block types, I want to add like some water, like some rainfall, but as well as like a level you might have a body of water and you have to like shape the terrain for it to flow to some like other part of the map. Yeah. In fact, well, that's fine. I thought about like ecosystems. So you have types of rocks, and then you'll have ecosystems where, depending on how the terrain is like laid out, certain things might change. Or I should say the ecosystem should technically be driven by rainfall. Yeah. Let's see. Geologies. Yeah, and then this is more land shape. So you want to make a swamp. You have one layer deep of water. And that's like, okay, like a little bit of water makes it swampy. Oh, just a moment. Okay. Let me think. Oh, look at that. Just in time. It's all here. So the instructions are pretty simple. We left click to move a block up. We can right click to move it down. And it moves up, as you can see. It's kind of one, you could say like a unit vector, if you will. Right now the blocks have like, they're like a 1x1 width and like the width and length is 1 unit, and then the height is half. It's just kind of easier to see behind the blocks, I think. And we could tweak some of those values. I think it's just one variable, which is nice. But here's the real cool part. So if I move this up again, it moves its neighbors, and so on, and so forth, and so on, and so forth. And this is kind of like the driving mechanic. And the idea of having block types, of course, is like, okay, if you're dealing with dirt or moving any kind of material, there's certain limits that they can set, right? So sand is like, basically this is how sand works, to where if you do this, like you're going to cause this kind of effect. And obviously, like if you move down, you're going to have this opposite effect. It's not entirely accurate simulator of like materials, but the whole point was just kind of it's like, all right, capture the mouse input in the world view, as well as this kind of neighboring movement. Like how big can you make this? And it's pretty effective. And I think I like that it works, and I didn't have to really put a lot of thought into it, which is always nice. I don't want to say that it's like lazily done, but it's nice when you have an idea, you implement it, and it works exactly like you thought it would. Because usually it does not. But anyway, yeah. So this is like a little example of a map. Yeah, just realizing, I feel like, oh, there's another branch. That's right. Which means I should probably discard this change in the README. Let's see here. Get fetch. Let me think here. Isn't it A? Yeah, okay, we have a level generator. That just, well, I'll just show you. The level generator will, so what you go with for the map, every map has a size, and we're going to go through and we're going to spawn some kind of block. And for this, it's like the layer is the height. And so then I'm like, okay, give it a sine and a cosine based on the column and row. And that'll give us a map that looks a little different, a little more wavy. And it's not a great way of building maps. In fact, I don't know. I might go for something a little more custom. That's kind of a tricky one. But yeah, here's like a bigger map. And you'll notice these gaps here that make sense in terms of like forming a wave, but they're further than what I wanted this like behavior to be, because it should move up if it's like, see if it exceeds that like unit 1 right now. And so the map that spawns is technically putting things outside of the bounds of, what should be possible mechanically in the game. So it's pretty crude. It's not great, but it's, if you will, it's kind of creating a little bit of basic noise. Let's check out main again, and I'm going to create a new branch, and I'm going to call it camera controls. And what I want to do is add a few basic things for a camera. Oh yeah, there's no map for this one. In fact, we can go through the files since this is a new project. Okay, the main file runs the app. Nothing special there. The library files where we're running everything. Let's see, we have our cursor, which is just detecting where our cursor is. It's only going to do that if we left or right click, because we don't need to be running all this every time. I think I'll probably change this because I think highlighting a mesh, what you're hovered over, would be a helpful kind of quality of life feature. In fact, I should put that in here. Highlight hovered over mesh. Cool. And what did I add here? And rainfall conditions. Okay. Let's see here. So first it takes the cursor. The environment is just the camera and the lighting. Instructions is what you saw, just giving a little DIY. DIY, what? That doesn't make any sense. But it prints the instructions on how to interact with the game, which is kind of handy for now, a little tutorial. Let's see here. Oh yes, this creates the cube mesh. This does it all manually. This is just kind of me messing around with, how do you generate a mesh in Bevy? And it's a lot. I mean, this is a lot for a cube. And it would be a lot more to use shader code. But I think I would rather do that because, let's see how fast it runs whenever it first launches to actually build the level. There's always the waiting. Okay, here it comes. And 0, 1. Okay. That was 1 second for what is this, 12 by 12 grid. That's not great. It's not really a problem right now because it's sure, this is just, it is what it is. It's all very much a prototype and that kind of thing. However, if you can imagine a much larger map with with different types, with the terrain at different levels, and if you consider all the features that I would like to implement, I feel like we need a more efficient way of building a level and interacting with a level in general. And the good thing about having it is something is so removed is that, again, all of this stuff just happens automatically, like the way the terrain shifts, adding water and want the water to fall down to the lowest point. So it's all this stuff we could actually just put in the shader. I think ideally it should be possible. And I'm no expert, but this is the triangle, not the expert doer channel. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have some idea. And we get better as we improve, as we try. So let me think here. Okay, yeah, so camera controls. Let's go through. Let us open up a browser tab. I don't know what the heck I just showed. Nothing at all problematic. Not that there really would be, but I don't want to put my bank or anything. I already get enough of those weird calls every now and then. They're fun. They're like, hey, it's your bank. I need your credit card to confirm a fraud. And I'm like, really? What bank? And they're like, Capital One? I'm like, nope. I just told you what bank I don't have. That's a good thing. There's only selective options. Who cares? No bank is ever going to be like, hey, give me your credit card number. I'm like, well, I think you should have that info. But also, banks typically go, hey, there's fraud. Call us, right? Contact us of your own volition. Because, again, scammers will do that trick where they're like, oh, it's me, your official bank. Just give me your password so I know it's you. It's like, no, you called me. If I call you and you want confirmation, that's fine. But you called me and you want me to give you confirmation? That's bonkers. And it doesn't make sense. And a lot of businesses will not do that. So, helpful tip. If anyone calls and they're asking for that kind of info, do not give it out. Just do not give it out. Always just say you'd rather call them directly. Hang up, look up an official line or official email or whatever it is, contact them directly. Don't ever listen to anybody tell you it's them. That's just not a practice that a lot of businesses do. Bevy Smith, yes. Let me think here. I feel like actually, you know what? I don't think we're actually gonna need a lot of help with this one. So let's see here. Let's create a new file. Not in Target though. I almost called it new file. Okay, so let's create a Bevy file. We need a struct. We're gonna call it my camera. No, we're gonna call it camera temp. Top 10 don't do naming conventions. Camera. Just camera plugin. Okay, and oh, there's some neat like autocomplete stuff. So I can implement a trait, and I'm going to implement the plugin trait. And wait a minute. Oh wait, did that work? Yeah, it did. Oh shit, that's great. Okay, never mind. That worked brilliantly. All right, so plugin, implement missing members. Excellent. And we'll add a system here at startup, and we'll just call it setup. There's no reason to get complicated right now. I think in our environment is where I do the camera right now. So we're just going to take all that code. Whoops. Actually, we're going to take this whole function. Yeah. There we go. Let's see. Control C. I know I should probably learn the hotkeys to switch from thing to thing. Thing to thing, you know. Forget hotkeys. I don't know what anything's called. I don't know anything. Don't ask me what anything is. This is like a little like height adjustment variable. In fact, I should just call it default height adjustment. Anytime you have any kind of variables like this, they'll call them magic variables, where it's just like a hard-coded number. I really do recommend always keeping it here, because sooner or later you're probably going to reuse that, and it's nice to have one variable you edit rather than 6. It almost always happens. And either way, it's just typically not great to have a bunch of random stuff. So anyway, a bunch of random values that you're not certain what they adjust. Right, because you're like, okay, well, what's bad with one number? You know, this is some kind of variable, sure. But what if you have like, you know, another one, and then it's like, oh, 1.8 times x times 9, and then you're like, okay, well, but what are these numbers? And it's like they clearly mean something, and it's better to give them names. And if they're not going to change, make them constant. And if they are going to change, well, you know the business, but. I always recommend don't ever just leave numbers strangling. Even here, like, look at this range. I'm disobeying my own orders. I can't even follow basic rules. Shame. It's fine. It'll. I mean, it has to happen eventually. And this is, I think, fine. Like 0, it's like, okay, I'm not. That's fine to me. Who knows? Maybe the light distance should be a light vector, and it should just be that. But for now, we'll keep it as is. There's no need to change it so egregiously. And I think this is a good change. Okay, so first things first, we moved some things. Run it just to see if it all works still. There's nothing worse than making a bunch of changes and then watching it all completely crash. And then you're like, whoa, where did it end? Look at that. No camera. What did I tell you? What did I just tell you? Seem to be having some kind of problem. You know, I bet I know what's wrong. Yeah, okay, so we have There we go. There we go. No. I'm sorry. That's the wrong one. Huh. Maybe I shouldn't call it camera plugin. How about free camera? No, that sounds dumb. Controlled camera. I wonder what do you call a camera like for let me think here. What would you call a camera like an RTS engine? Like RTS camera hold on a minute. Camera angle 45. Okay. I feel like I'm not. There's first person, second person, and third person. And that's all I'm really looking for. First, second, third person game camera. Maybe there's like a list that just says character's eyes, no sense, no real gaming use. Oh, okay. Yeah, but what if it's like way up, like a satellite view? You know what I'm going to call it? We're going to call it flying camera. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's weird, but I think I'm good with that. And I'll even call it that in the file so I know. Yes! Change everything. It's going to take a moment to realize what's happening. It's very angry at me right now. It's like, why would you do this to me? Flying camera. Wow. What do you want? Oh, right. And you're mad. Oh, because there's no comma here. Okay, everything's all cool. No warnings, no nothing. All right, let's run that again. I'm telling you, man, all this little stuff. You forget it. You forget it. You do a bunch of changes, and the problem is in your mind. If you're like me, you can assume you're like, well, maybe there's something wrong with like my logic, the thing, and my genius is flawed. No, you forgot a basic step at the very beginning, and it'll happen to you. You just got to let it roll off your shoulder, though, because it happens to everybody all the time. That's what I like to tell myself to help me sleep at night. Okay, so the next step we're going to do is, say camera input. And we're starting to get into, well, we don't really need a schedule at the moment. Yeah, no, we'll be okay. But we might soon. Scheduling will eventually become important. It usually is. Okay. Camera input. What is their input for camera? It will be... Oh, it'll be buttons. And I always forget stuff. Button input. There we go. Input handling. No, I want an example. No. Keyboard. Keyboard input is what I should look up. Yeah, cool. More or less, this is what it is. And I don't think I want keyboard events. Do I? Nah, we'll just we'll process it every frame. There's a good chance when it moves, it will need to move. That didn't make any sense what I just said. When it moves, it'll need to move. That's typically how it goes. All right, just pressed. I hate that I can't put like a boolean here, or not a boolean. What do you call that? Operator. Logic gate. Yeah, you can't put that. I always feel like it would be really helpful, but that's okay. We can get close. It's not that much extra to type, and there's usually a reason behind these things, even if it looks a little clunky. It's always good. Like, it's good to question things, but bear in mind, a lot of things are the way they are because somebody with a lot of experience put a lot of effort into usually figuring out that one way is better than the other. Because it's one thing to make a game, it's another thing to make an engine. That takes a lot of effort. Also, I just realized key D and key A for left. Let's see. We do the same thing. Same thing each time. Let's see here. We're going to want to store direction. Well, let me give all the keys. So A, D, and then there's... almost pulled a Hank Hill right out of my hat here. Whoa. All right, so S and yeah, we don't need to do anything like that. Anything else right now? Okay. So we can capture all the keys whenever we press them, but we're also going to want to capture the direction. So we're going to make, not a component. We're going to make a resource. Do we? Yeah, it's fine. We're going to make a resource, and we're going to call it camera direction. Cool. And pub, to make sure it's publicly accessible, we're going to call it translation. And it'll be a... this is tricky. Because really, we want to make sure we move the root of the camera, which isn't actually where the camera will be. Let's open up our trusty drafting software here. Why is it? All right, so let's say we have, we'll draw our camera here. Very basic looking thing. It's a little box. This looks like a floodlight. Whatever. We have a camera, okay? And that's obviously going to film. It's not going to film at all. This is not how a camera works in a game. Sorry, in a game you have something that looks more like this, where it's got a... it's fulcrum, I believe is called. And it captures some area here. And ultimately, technically, everything within this big old tetrahedron or whatever it is, that's what you see in the game. And this is like the view screen. This, you can consider this the window of the video game. And then this is like the back part. This is everything past this. Objects over here. Oh, thanks. Yeah, thanks for doing that. Why does it always make me suffer? Objects over here are not seen. They're not rendered. I click circle. Anything within this little trapezoid can be, though. We'll color this one. Oh, okay. All right, we'll color this one red. And we'll color this one yellow. And the important thing to note is that where our camera is like pointing. Oh, whoops. Where our camera is like looking, it's going to be looking at a particular spot. And the spot it looks at is our root. This is where the camera like object or the component spawns. And then we're going to say, okay, here's the root of the camera. And then this is where the actual like camera sits. And then we tell it to turn around and look back at this root. So when we move the camera, we want to zoom according to this spot. We want to translate this spot. We want to like everything we do, we're basically we're going to move this around. If we rotate, we're going to rotate around this spot. So if we have some vertical axis, which I should pick a different color for, like here's the spot on the ground. Oh my gosh, that's so terrible. There are probably much better diagrams. I'm not going to keep drawing. This is probably more confusing than it is helpful. But basically, like that root location is actually what we care about. So, like here we've given the camera a transform and then we turn it around. And what I really want is a component, and we're going to call it, let's see, a default and a debug. Nope. There we go. Same for this. And I want to call this camera root. And this is literally, we're not even going to do anything with this. This is just a component we attach when we spawn it. And the way you do that is very clever. So let's see here. We will spawn it. What am I doing? Say, actually tell you what. It's going to look a little weird for a second here, but hang with me here. Okay. Camera root. We'll give it a name too. And we'll say camera root. We're going to give this a transform as well. And I mean, we're not even gonna do anything with it. Literally just the default transform. It's just gonna sit in the middle of the map. Here we go. Now, oh wait, is it add child? Okay, so we have this thing, child. This is weird. Add children? No. I can just do one. And I always thought it was like builder. And yeah, so we're going to take the camera, the actual camera. Okay, and now its transform is based on its parent. But since it's parent, since it's 0, we're not gonna mess with anything here. Let's see here. And instead of command spawn, we're gonna call it builder spawn, and this should work. It is not happy. Did they change this? Hold on a minute. It used to be like a function you'd run. Spawn. Hold on a minute. Push children. With children. Okay, here we go. My bad. With child. Should be... No? What? Bevy, what? 0.9? What? Where? You. They've removed with children. I'm not crazy. You're crazy. What? Okay, add child. I didn't see what the heck changed. Last month. Okay, I'm going to count that this is up to date. With children, parent. Parent spawn. You say that. Huh. Oh, yeah, then you could query children and parent, I think, are automatically components. So it's really helpful when you want to get both. Which we will probably have to. Well, anyway. If I just say with children, are you going to... All right, you're happy about that. Spooky. All right. So let's get back to our keyboard input function. I'm going to say direction is, let's see, we're going to get a resource. We're going to get a mutable resource. And we're going to ask for the camera direction. And all we're going to do here is say, hey, if we hit the left key or the A arrow, then let me start off by saying let mute dir. Let's see, will be a vector 2. Here we go. And if it's that, we'll say let's get this, and we will the x -1. And we're going to do the exact same thing for this, except for we're going to add 1. That's it. There you go. Now, of course, for up and down, we're going to ask for y. And let's see, that's up, that's down. And I like symmetry. There we go. Okay, so now it's going to go through and it's going to say, depending on our inputs, we're going to grab some collective direction. And then our actual direction, we're going to get the translation of, and we're going to set it equal to this value. Are you mad? Cannot mutate. That's because we forgot to add the mute keyword. There you go. Okay, and that's all we're doing for this function, which we should include on every update. So here's our keyboard input. I wish it do that with everything. All right, so we have our keyboard input. Next, what we want to do is actually move the camera. And just call it what it is, yeah. We're going to do that. We're going to take that direction, except this time we only need the resource. There we go. Oh, and we want the root, which actually is going to be... I'm going to query this, and we're going to say I want the mutable. I want the transform of the with camera root. So camera root we use to query, but we're not going to pull any information out of it yet. We might. We might put something in there. I don't want to right now, though. So we're going to say it should just be the single, yeah? So we're going to say let OK. Mutable transform is equal to root. And we're going to say get mute single, get single, get single mutable. All right, so we're going to do that. We're going to say if we can find. So if we run this query, which everything in Bevy is run, it's that ECS system. We're notice we're not even like the camera we're passing in, I feel like I'm doing a lot of ad-libbing for how Bevy works, but like if you notice, of course, we're just passing functions. We're not calling them. And all the calling and everything is going to happen on Bevy. Bevy takes care of everything. Bevy takes care of our components, takes care of entities. These are our systems it's going to run, and it's going to do all that on the back end. All I have to do is run a query for the info I want based on, certain parameters and filters. So I'm saying, hey, I want you to run this. You should get a single. And if you do, let me know. If not, darn. No, that's okay. Gee golly. All right. So we'll say if okay, and we're going to say the transform translation. We got to be careful here because this is a vector 3. And we don't want to move in the y and the x. We want to move the x and the z axis, actually. So, but even more than... Okay, this is tricky. We need to take... the... Oh, man. We need to rotate. Actually, do we? Yes. All right. The root of our camera. The root of our camera is going to spin in some direction. And I want to make sure that I have exactly what that spin is. And I think I know exactly where to pull the code I need. Yeah. I think this is going to be it. Do a little quaternion nonsense here. So, important. Now that's just a rotation. What we need to see is basically like some kind of it's called basis in Godot, and I think in linear algebra in general. But the camera is going to be pointed a direction. So when we hit left and right, we don't want to go global left and right, because if we spin the camera, let's say like 150, 180 degrees, if we spin it anything, but if we spin it like 180 degrees, right, and we're looking backwards. Hitting the left key should still make us move left relative to the camera, not relative to global left. Because if we hit left, we're going to go to the right. In fact, I can show you that because it'll be easy just to show you how it doesn't work. And then we'll try to figure out how the heck to get it to work. What am I missing? No, yeah. Translation, okay. And like I said before, it's going to be a vector 3. Are there any functions? If you type extend, it'll add a z. But again, we don't want to add the z. We actually want to just add a y. I wonder if you can be like 2. Yeah, okay. It's fine. We can just do a new vector 3. Translation x. There we go. And then direction y for the z-axis. And that's very fine. It's real fine. I don't think this is actually going to help us for so many reasons, but error is not covered. Oh, yes, of course. I don't want to just do unwrap. I want to actually handle this. Can we just do this? This is not like a great way to handle. I want to make sure I do this in a very Bevy way. Oh, single. Oh, I can just query single. Huh. I feel like this is not a great way of handling it. But we should probably use this query component, because I bet it's the best one to use. And I think that was that inner into inner? Oh, right. And it only did this. Yeah. You're mad. You're mad probably because I have no need for these brackets. This does not feel like it is handling the errors, though. Feels very sloppy. Is this really the only example we're going to use? Bevy single mute example. What version are you? 14? Oh, hello. Okay. Oh, this is a migration guide. Okay. Yay. Are we going to... This doesn't do anything that we want, so that's great. Okay, well, I guess we're going to do the amateur thing and pretend like this will never go wrong. Yes, we're doing wonderfully now. Why are you mad like this? Does not mean to be mutable. Really? Sure. Okay. If you say so. I won't argue. It feels weird, though. It feels like it usually is. Okay. Move camera. Once again, I just want to... I don't need the whole thing. So yeah, now we have two functions. We wrap it in a tuple. I think it's like... I could take... I think the number of tuples you can put is like 8 or something. I think for plugins it's like 15. There is a hard limit. And I can already see a problem that always pops up whenever I'm dealing with vectors. This thing gets called and I don't actually need it. Oh, goody. Camera. Cut on access. That's because we didn't create it. Of course. This is working just as intended. We're going to insert a resource, and we're going to call it the camera direction. And we should be able to just give it default, because Vector 2 already comes with its own default. See here. Not. Wait, what? No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. Where is it? I mean, I know it does. I can't be crazy. Oh my gosh. Default for Vector 2. Okay, so it is implemented at some point. And because of that, because it's already implemented, I can just say, hey, derive default from this. And because this is implemented, it's like, okay, I already know what this is going to be. You don't have to spell it out for me, which is really handy. If you have like a custom type, though, it's like, I don't know what the heck that is. So you do have to derive it based on those custom types. Okay, let's do the test. Oh, that's weird. If I move up and down, you can see that. Yeah, you can see it's kind of bumping. It's not going anywhere, though, which is Weird. Oh, no, it's not. It's setting it equal to. That's a rookie mistake. All right, so we're about to see some weird movements after it builds. Here we go. So I'm going to hit left on the keyboard. I want you to watch this. Why is that happening? Yeah. It's happening. I just realized I should do pressed and not just pressed. But it's happening because, again, the root is moving along the x-axis globally. If I hit up, I go like down. Oh my gosh, that's because Z is reversed. Okay, so first things first, here, we reverse that. The second thing I need to do is, instead of just saying just pressed, I need to do pressed. Because I want to be able to hold down the arrow key and move more than once. And I should probably plug in the time, and then I'll be able to have a speed so we can move our camera at a given like velocity. Okay, here we go. And I go up and down. But again, it's moving like with the global. And I don't want it to do that. I want it to move left and right with respect to where the camera is. So I wonder if what I should do instead actually is no. We need to do it with respect to the root because we're going to rotate around this. And if we move the camera like to the left, okay, more back to the diagram, back to the drawing board here. Gee, what a lovely, lovely drawing. But what if we were to substitute? Oh, fast food. All right, let's just. Yeah, that works. Okay. So again, we have some root here, and we have some. Oh my god, I hate when it does that. I like why must you? They're not the same color, I know. And then we have like a camera, yeah. I'll draw it like this. I'll just do 2D. So we have our camera. If we move the camera like this over here, then what's going to happen is our camera will be over here now. And when we rotate, what we want to do, technically, is we want to rotate around this middle point. Like this. So that our camera, like a, whoops, our new camera would be like over here. But if we move over here to the left, what's going to happen is that rotating around the root is going to, like, where our camera is going to end up like down here. So obviously you know, pretend that's blue. We don't want the whole camera to move like weirdly like this. It'll feel really odd. It'll have this disconnect of control, which we definitely don't want. So we have to maintain all of our movements to one place. But of course, this puts us back on the original pickle, which is how do we move this thing? With respect to our like relative camera position. What I'm gonna do. Let me think here. All right, so we have the root. But what if no. Yes? No, wait a minute. All right, let's hang with me here. Camera. Signal. Single. And I don't need that. I need the global transform. with a camera 3D. Should be fine. We just have one for now. Is gonna crash later, but let it crash and we'll cover it. So here's the go, and we're gonna have let our here. Let's make sure we rename some of this stuff so we keep track of everything properly. Camera dot into inner. Cool. That's a lot easier to mess with. All right, so now we're going to have this global transform. What the heck? You can do that and it'll automatically create the type. I didn't even know that. That's fantastic. We'll keep that. That's a cool feature. That's neat to me. Let's see here. So I'm going to say relative direction. We must move the camera root relative to the facing direction of the camera. All right. So the relative direction here is, we could probably do this with like some trigonometry, but there's probably some vector math we could do. Let's think here. Relative direction. So let's see. The camera rotation. Okay, this may sound really weird, but I wonder if this will just work like a basis does. All right. This is probably going to throw a fit. Oh, well, of course it does because it doesn't know what the heck that is. Transform. No. No, will that work? I always get screwed up with quaternions. They're really weird, and they're kind of hard to visualize and imagine. It's very clever, but it's also mind-bogglingly weird. Okay. Oh my goodness. Boy, that's a hell of a delay though. Why is that? Oh, wait a minute. Any pressed. We can have. Oh, hello. You remember what I said earlier about stuff? You remember when I was like, it wouldn't be great if we had a function that we could just put multiple inputs? Ooh. It's not happy about this, but maybe it. No, it's definitely not happy. What do you want? What do you want? Inputs should implement into iterator. Okay. Press during the current frame. Oh, this will press a key. That's clever. That's very useful. There's weird stuff that's helpful to do stuff like that. Hang with me here. Can I just wrap this in a tuple and just call into, this will be maybe, it works. Oh, that's fantastic. I don't even need to do anything. Oh, thank goodness. Somebody was doing the math early on that one. You're mad. Ew. Really? You're that mad? Overflow of value into the requirement of into iter. Jeez. Yeah, wow. It's very angry. And block, too. I'm like, that's not even where the problem is. That's like a weird, kind of a weird error. Okay, before I do with that, time. We need to get the time variable. Actually, I don't need to do this. So we have a relative direction, but we also want to multiply the speed time, and it's delta sex. Which sounds funny to say. You know why. Camera speed and yeah, I don't know, man. 80. These are always hard to kind of guess, but it's okay. We can just adjust it if it's wrong. You really don't like that. It's not going to build if it's got this problem. Yeah. Okay. This is not a. Wait, no. Keep that. All right. How the heck? I wonder if I can use a vector. I can already see that this might be good to store, but into iter. Yeah? Okay. Okay, it's happy about that. Okay, a vector will work. And making that a vector and passing that every time feels like a bad call. But I don't know if I can make that a constant. You can't build a vector. Okay. Yikes. Yeah, all right, that's fast. How about 12? A little smaller. I love these build times. There we go. Yeah, there's kind of a click poo, click mirror, click mirror. A bit of a delay. That's interesting. Up and down don't do anything. Left and right do. A and D do. Both the up and down commands don't work. Huh. Why? It was working a second ago. Now it doesn't want to. What has to do with the rotation we're giving it? Let's look. Oh, right. Here we go. Direction, translation, Y. Let's just print that out and see what we get. All right, we are getting values, but obviously it doesn't want to go anywhere. I feel like it's because of this rotation. And I hate that it doesn't want to move. Why? I need to do something silly. Something so egregiously silly. I don't even know why I'm doing it. But I'm messing around. Sometimes it's good to poke around things. Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I still kind of hate it. This might not be good. Yeah, it's moving. We are moving vertically, but I don't want to just move vertically. Because once we move the camera, once we shift the angle of the camera, I don't want to move up and down. I want to move forward and backward. Because moving up and down will just lock us on a weird axis. All right. For now, you, sir, about a shave. You need to go here. And keyboard input, and we need to do mouse movement input. Mouse input. All right, and then moving the mouse. That's buttons, but I don't want the buttons. I want to know if oh, the scroll wheel. That's good. Let's see. Mouse motion. Oh, we got all of it. All right, cursor position. I don't really care about that. I just want the mouse motion. All right, so we'll copy this one. And, oh, okay. Oops. We'll do that. And I guess there's only one way to get the scroll wheel. Yeah, cursor position we already technically get somewhere else. So, scroll wheel input, and mouse motion is actually a good way of calling it. So we'll do that. We will also pass in the direction component, and we're going to call this the rotation, and it's just going to be an F32 because we're only going to get the X component. No, we're not. We're going to get the Y component. What am I thinking? I'm crazy. All right. Let's see here. So get that. We're going to say the direction rotation is actually, I don't even need to EV delta. Will that work? What? Unknown. Oh, you probably need to. Yeah, okay. So now we have mouse motion. Delta is a vector 2. We don't even need to extrapolate X and Y. We can just store it every time we move the mouse. Now, mouse wheel will control our zoom. And that should be an F32. Let's think here. Scroll, vertical, horizontal. Pixel and line. Do I care? I guess we would want to process this differently. But I feel like I don't actually care right now. Okay. Oh yeah, you can do this, except I don't want to do it like that. Should have already captured it. Anyway, let's grab that direction component. Huzzah. Okay. Direction zoom. let's see, EV, Y, I think, yeah. Y should be up and down. And you should know what you're doing. Okay. So we got this. And what we can do, actually, this is a little fun. We can say, I want the mouse motion and the scroll wheel input to all run at the same time. But I want the inputs to run, or I want the camera to run after the inputs, and you do that by calling chain. And the reason I wrap these in brackets, because if I didn't, right, like if we remove this parentheses, it's going to chain all four of these together. And we don't need to do that. We can take in all the inputs asymmetrically. But I want to kind of move the camera afterwards. In fact, I don't even think I really need to chain the camera, frankly. But let's see what we do. So let's see. Move the camera relative to the facing direction of the camera. Yes. Set the zoom. I feel like I probably want to do. Let me think about the order that we're going to go in here. I think zoom, I think rotation, and then I think translation. So zoom is going to be, let's think here, root, transform, and no, camera transform dot translation. And it's going to be moving towards the root. So let's think about this. Let's see. We'll call this the pivot arm. I think is a good way of putting it. And this is going to be the vector of the camera transform translation relative to the root translation. So we're going to say, hey, wherever your nuts, wherever you're nuts, wherever the, we should get global. We should always do this. Actually, no. Wait a minute. I don't think I need that. I think I can get the relative camera transform. Yeah. And in order to do that, of course, I need to make sure, say camera, I'm going to say camera, global camera transform. There we go. So let's see here. The global camera transform should actually just be that pivot arm. So what we're going to say is camera transform, translation. Plus equals, we need to take itself. Let's see here. Delta arm length. And that's going to be our camera transform length. No, actually, we'll need some variables here. Camera zoom. One. Probably want to move a little slowly. Maybe two. Speed. All right. So arm length is going to be the direction of zoom, whether or not we did zoom. And we're going to say the camera zoom rate. And camera speed, I'm going to call camera translate rate. If you're a smart cookie, you know where I'm going with this. If you're a dumb cookie, you can't possibly keep up. All right, here we go. Rotation rate. Now this one's tricky because it's in radians. So pi F32 is fine, and yeah, half a circle a second, roughly. Because what we want is to take all these variables. We'll use that one in a minute. And actually, while we're at it, we'll actually save delta time. So delta time is an F32, and it's time, and it's delta sex. I'm always gonna make that joke. That's never not gonna be funny to me. Delta delta time. Yeah, my brain. I'm growing old. Like that Yoda meme. Yes. Rest. Okay, so the arm length is how much this the length of our translation is going to change. So I think our translation should be itself plus this delta. Yeah. Yeah, because we're going to have some direction. This will be in 1 and -1. We'll have this, and then we'll have our zoom rate. Yeah. This, oh, you're so mad. Why? Oh, you know why? Because we pulled the type out. So, yeah, okay. This is why I usually let it just float. Yeah, okay. It's inferred, and that's fine with me. It stinks because I haven't figured out the other thing. But I feel like until I'm able to... What are you mad about? Oh, we're not rotating yet. That's fine. We'll test the zoom first. Yes, I know it's not used. Don't chide me. Oh, good. Let's see here. Rising conflict. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Query, transform, global transform. We're for camera 3D and system hill builder. Move camera. Accesses components. Transform away the complex with this previous system parameter. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was afraid of this. That's fine. So instead, we're going to have a component. We're going to have a default value. And we're going to... I spelled that correct. Yeah. And we're going to just call this... Oh, gosh. Flying camera. Sure. And you... Let me plugged into here. And here we go. Say with camera root. I think you want to be wrapped in brackets. Without flying camera. Same with this. This should work. If not, I'd have to do this other thing. I can't remember what it's called, like a set or something. I hope this works. And I'll explain actually why it's throwing that error. So, if you look here, we're calling. Oh, well, let's see. All right, we're zooming. We're kind of zooming. Why are we moving up and down? This math is wrong. Oh, of course it is, because... Oh. I'll explain the problem first. So we're calling a query to mutate a transform. And then here we're also calling to mutate transform. So what it was saying in this error message is it was saying, hey, you are trying to query the same component in one function. And the problem with that is it says, hey, you want a camera root, or do you want 3D camera? You know, that's what we had before. But how does it know that camera root might also have 3D camera, or vice versa? Like, basically what it's trying to say is you're trying to query the same information twice. How do I know that I'm not actually going to query the same component? Or if you're querying a list of components, how does it know it's not going to cross lists? Because that's very important, because then you're trying to access like the same thing in memory. And there's one thing that Rust is very strict on, is memory safety. So it's like, hey, you're trying to access the same thing at the same time. I need to know that if you're trying to get the camera root, you don't want the flying camera. And if you want the flying camera, you're not going to get the camera root. So that way we ensure that this is only the camera, and this could only ever be the root, because we're strictly telling it to do so. Otherwise, it's going to say, hey, I don't know what these are. You're telling me, to get this and that, but what if they're the same thing? What if they cross over? So that's why we have to clarify the without in our query. Now to get to the actual zoom problem. I am moving the translation based on the zoom, when what I should be trying to adjust is the length of our translation. So let me think here. Hold on. Camera transform translation. A length. So instead I'm going to say, give me the length. Gosh, you know what I really need? Hold on. Let's see. Delta arm length. We're going to bring this variable back. This is our change. Yeah? Because this line's about to get a little messy. We have our delta arm length. See, our length times our delta arm length. This will give us some new percentage based on the length that we have. And we want, let's see. All right, we want the unit vector of our arm. And we're going to say the length times some arm length. This is a weird problem, because the farther out we zoom, actually it might be great, because the further we zoom, the greater this delta will be. The smaller our length, the smaller this will be. So this might actually be great, because when we're far away, we can zoom further. When we're close up, the rate at which we're zooming is smaller. So we have our unit vector. We're setting the length based on some delta ratio. This could, it might not work, but I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing. I am semi-confident. Okay, here we go. Scroll wheel. All right. So this does not zoom us. It's moving so slowly. Okay, for starters, let's, I don't know, 14. And also, here, we'll do it. We'll see it get bigger. Oh. Oh. No, I know what's up. I don't know what's up. Why is it doing that? This isn't just about zoom. Because our camera is orthographic. And we don't want to zoom the camera. Or we don't... Moving the translation of the camera is irrelevant. Is this example going to load? Yeah. Scroll wheel in and out. Oh, shit. Oh. Okay. Wow, that's way too much. Okay, that... This is obscene for starters, for sensitivity. But if I move out... here. This is perspective, yeah? That is way too much. But essentially, perspective, it makes sense to control the arm length. But orthographic, you have to change like the projection values. All right. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. To zoom in and out, change the scaling mode. Okay. Fixed vertical. All right. Let's copy this. So we set up the camera. We have orthographic. We have our scaling mode, which is, yep, fixed vertical. All right. We already have all this set up. And what I want is switch projection. No. Zoom. Projection. Orthographic. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we can just do all this in one function, can't we? Let's grab this whole thing. We're only going to use a small percentage of it. What are we really doing here? So here it's going to edit the settings of the camera. I don't really care for that as much. What I want to know is what are the real changes that are happening? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Zoom in, decreasing the scale. We need to negate the delta. Okay. So we have our speed, mouse wheel input. Changing scales. Logarithmic changes are intuitive. To get this effect, we add 1 to the delta. So that a delta of 0 results in no multiplication effect. Multiplicative zoom. So we have the scale right times the delta. And we're going to clamp. Some kind of start and end. That's a good idea, actually. So what are we really changing here? Orthographic scale. Camera intuiter. We could do that, I guess. Okay. I still want this. I'm going to call it delta scale. And likewise, we're going to add 1 to it. And yeah, we have our speed. Multiply it plus time. Mouse wheel. I don't actually know if we need time for this kind of thing. I don't really care. So let's see. Direction zoom. Yeah. I think I'll flip it here. Yeah. Yeah, okay. There's that. Scale. Camera into. I wonder, can we, can you give me projection? Yeah, that's what I want. All right. So we're not going to mess with the transform of the camera. Actually, we probably will eventually, but for now, initially, well, we're going to get the projection. And I already know what it is, so I'm not going to do a match for it. Here we go. And let's say camera projection. Scale. Oh my God, I have to. Okay. All right. Match. Into inner, not inner. Okay, if the projection is orthographic, I don't care. If it's not, no one cares. But if it's orthographic, which it should be, it will be. Let's see here. And there we go. And I'll just copy this. Just a moment. Okay, I'm back. I had a little dinner. What am I doing? Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see here. All right, so orthographic scale, multiplicative zoom. I'm gonna call this delta scale, and then for the clamp values, I'm just gonna store them up here. Camera. What did the example use? Let's see. Zoom range. What? Oh, 0.1 to 10. Yeah, okay. We'll try that. Might not be good enough, but it might. All right, that is. Oh. Okay. Oh man, you're angry at me for a lot. Can it be deferred? All right. Mismatch type. Oh yes. Of course. Well, then how about camera projection, yeah? Found enum projection. Excuse me. Update. Yeah. Huh. Get, update. Huh. Oh. Hold on a minute. Is this what I want? This might be more. Yeah. Okay. This is a little weird looking, I know. Oh, it hates me. Consider dereferencing. Oh, really? Okay. Well, that solves that problem. Oh, really? Huh. Hey, you know what? Actually. Okay, there we go. Yes. All right. Um. All right, camera zoom in. Camera zoom max. Do you need to? No, it's fine. All right. That will do all the zooming. And we can erase this. We might use the transform for rotation. In fact, we will use the transform for rotation. No, we're going to be using the root. Oh, whatever. We'll look at that in a second. Let's just focus on getting the zoom to work. Oh, whoops. Well. Hey. Oh, that is literally one. I am moving it one little tick. I've maxed out. Okay. Um, maybe. I'm like, wow, that's insane. Okay, zoom rate. Yeah. Wow, too much. Way too much. Like, way too much. Why are you angry at me? Is this it? Yes. Okay. Oh, delta arm length. That's not a command you recognize? I use it all the time. It's the only professional command there is. Real pros just type code into the command line. Okay, now it's going way too slow. Somewhere between 14 and 1/100th. Yeah, this might be it. Oof. This is like really slow. And what's funny is it's like, I got an order of magnitude. Huh. There we go. I think that's pretty good for like far out. And I think that's good for up close. And we can move side to side. We still can't move up or down. And we're not going to need the camera transform at all. Okay, so we'll set the zoom. Rotate with the mouse. This one we're not going to do delta time. In fact, I wonder if I should. Yeah. I think it's okay. I think my bounds were a little insane. Okay, so we'll rotate with the mouse. And how's the mouse motion? All right, so the mouse motion, if you move it to the left, actually, we need to have one extra thing. Because I don't want to be able to just rotate with the mouse. We need the mouse to be free to move around. But if we hit like the middle mouse button. Yeah. All right. Yeah. There we go. All right. So if buttons pressed, the middle mouse button. If we're doing that, then we're going to take in, this is This is a completely wrong function. I just put that in. That's good. We're doing good work. Whoops. All right. There's that. There's that. And, oh my gosh. There's that. And there's that. Cool. Okay, now if we are pressing and holding the middle mouse button, then we'll actually do this. And when we do that, let's see, we move to the left. I think here. I feel like I want to do almost like an opposite rotation. Or if the mouse goes left, it should rotate. Well, huh. I don't know. Well, tell you what. Let's just see what we get reading it as is. So root transform I'm wondering if rotating it's gonna mess with it. Let's just try. So for starters, rotate around the y-axis. And what are we gonna? We're gonna rotate direction, rotation in the x, and we're gonna say camera rotation rate. I don't think we're gonna set it to delta time. Yeah, okay. And then root transform. This one's a little tricky. I don't know if we should give it height settings. Because to give it a height setting... we would need to rotate it. We need like another node. Oh, I don't like the idea of that. Huh. What we could do is set it some distance away and then rotate it to match this distance. Like, oh. So set it x equals 0, looking at rotate local y, quarter pi. Will that work? Will you be happy with this? Somewhere deep in my bones says no. Well, whatever. Rotate, and then if it's rotated around the y-axis, it should mean we can rotate the z-axis for the vertical. Rotation. Y. Oh, whoops. Camera rotation rate. We'll do it at the same time. And this might not work at all. All right, here we go. Oh, yikes. What the hell? No. Why is this 0? Z. Some height. Rotate around local Y. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Can I do this? It's probably going to be like, I don't know what you're doing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, cool. All right, awesome. Yeah, that doesn't work at all. Why can't... from rotation? No, I don't... maybe? Quaternion, okay. Maybe that's the key. From rotation? Okay. All right. I have a new fun idea. Okay. Transform. Yes. We'll do that. Oh, except okay. That should technically work. I'm saying a lot of things. What do you mean unused import on line 7? What? Oh, go away. Okay. That. Oh, we're rotating. And ooh, okay. Wow. Yeah. No. Yeah, okay. All right. This is not even really rotation rate, it's rotation sensitivity, really. So sensitivity? Yes. I know how to spell things. Sensitivity. Oh, okay. I do know how to spell things. Wow. All right. There's that. We forgot something important is that if the middle mouse button is not pressed, all right. Just 0. There it is. We'll 0 it out. Oh, here's something fun. Because we're setting this every time, what we can do here, literally make this the an expression. Although you're mad. This is a for loop. What am I doing? Oh, no. Yeah, forget it. Never mind. What an evil idea. Terrible. I hate it. Don't ever do it again. Again with the vector space, I can't tell you how many times that thing is imported and immediately abandoned. Okay. Oh, wow. Look at that. All right, that's... I know the camera's way off. Why is it way over there? Like, what on earth is going on? Wait a minute. Rotate local? I mean, it should. Anyway, what am I doing? Okay, let's up this by a whole order of magnitude. See if our local rotation change did anything at all. Oh, good. Good. Oh, wait. Oh, what the heck? Oh. Okay, for starters, why are we moving every time? Okay. Mouse move from frame to frame. Yeah. Are you sure that's... You might want to grab lock the mouse inside the game window. Uh-huh. Okay. This page is outdated. Great. I love you too. Yeah, I guess I can do that here. Cursor grab. Sure. Wait, if you want the cursor but not let it leave the window confined. For a game that doesn't use the cursor like a shooter, use locked. Keep it in one place. Also hide the cursor. Ah, good. Right. Fudge. Okay. Motion. Resident raw physical motion. Changing the position of the pointing device since the last event was sent. You say that, but like, why does my thing keep rotating so damn much? And I just realized we should clamp the Z rotation. Clamp or... Oh, okay. What do you mean min-max? All right. maybe we won't be Z rotation just yet. No cursor on primary window. I'm like, great. Isn't there a get cursor option? Cursor position, which we could store and update. I just... okay. We're just going to forget about that for now. Let's just see what happens. Oh, jeez. Let's see what happens when we don't use any of that. Oh, good. Oh, gosh. Okay. I mean, this is great in a sense. Wait. Is it literally rotating based on... okay, I'm so McBaffled in the McBrains. Okay. Yeah, I think, okay, for starters, this was evil. This was actually an evil idea. Great shame was cast down upon me. Yeah, no. I don't want that at all. That was awful. This is genuinely the most stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Okay. Right. Yeah, maybe we just do the horizontal movement. Okay. Yeah, I move it slightly and it just keeps spinning. Why is it just -1? It's not moving at all. I swear it's like... Yeah, it says it's moving. And I'm like, you are not -1. You know what? I wonder. I'm like, why? It's gonna be a little weird here. Oh, that's zoom. Can I subtract you by a scalar? Actually, no. I don't want to subtract you. I want you to... It's just delta. Okay. Boy, that's annoying, isn't it? If only there was an easier way. Oh. I say if the absolute value of this is greater than vector 2 identity index, no. Infinity now. And do identity matrices? Okay. If you are greater than here, let's just ask for the y. The absolute value y is greater than 1. And return the delta. Else, return 0. Yeah. Okay. Let's really clamp down on this thing. Good. Oh, now it's oh. What on earth? Okay, vertically it does something. What the hell? What is happening? Oh. I'm getting really tired of this nonsense. This delta is just wrong, first of all. There's no reason for me to hold down my mouse in the same position and it to be 1 or 0. I feel like I'm being gaslit here. Where am I being gaslit? You. Change the position of the pointing device since the last event was sent. Oh my gosh. Since the last event was sent. So if the mouse stays in the same position, so this event won't actually fire. Huh. I wonder if I like set it to 0 each time. But it won't fire, right? Because the event, yeah. Will it? Tell you what, let's test it out. Let's just see. I feel like the event won't fire and it'll be stuck on 1 or -1. So it'll keep spinning even when... No? Okay. There we go. And also, why is the root here? Oh, no wonder I'm so confused. It's like in a weird spot. That's not right at all. That should be, the root should be in the middle. But now it makes sense why the grid is printed over here. But this is correct. And I don't need to change a thing. Okay. That's all good. If it's not pressed, it's fine. It'll still be 0. So there's that. Here's camera rotation sensitivity. Yeah. I think here. I'll figure out how to make the cursor invisible later. For now, we've got all this stuff set up. I still don't understand why the translation does not work. And we don't need any of this. Huh. Oh. All right. I guess I could tone it down actually back to 1. Anyway. All right, so it's see how it moves according to, like, we're always going left. If I hold down left, if I hold down right, we should always be moving right, no matter where we're rotated. So here's the question: why isn't that true for up and down? Why doesn't up and down move at all? What if I just set this to 1? Maybe that's fine. All right. We'll print that out. We'll just see where it goes. Oh wow. That's yikes. Okay. Oopsies. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. I wasn't even paying attention to that part of it. We'll tone that rotation down a bit. Uh-huh. See, the thing about quaternions... All right. I'm not gonna learn anything out of this. But why trans? Why not? All right. Let's see if what we can learn from this. Didn't I just say that? So I'm still messing with the like. It's like. You know, I wonder if I should do. I wonder if I should just lock it to like 90-degree rotations instead of the mouse wheel. Oh, right. What were we testing? Oh, you see that? We moved a little bit. What the heck was that? We're not in the middle anymore. We're not in Kansas. We can do this. Why can't we do this? I mean, if I had to guess, it's because it's evil. Probably. That must be the only reason. I'm going to change the perspective, too. Getting a little zonky here. A little wonky. What is this music? This music went from fun to... Is this the same song? Some of these, I feel like, just repeat the same song over and over again. It's really annoying. All right, let's see what we got here. Clearly, it wants to move. It's especially weird because it's giving me... What on earth? Whoa! Wait a minute. What in the heck? Oh. Is it actually moving? It's moving, I think, in a very weird way. Yeah, okay. Something deeply messed up is happening. So this isn't working at all. And I don't know what the hell's happening. Actually, you know what's funny is it's moving them all away. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Bevy. Translate. Global rotation. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. Transform helper. Huh. Okay. I wonder. This might be it from rotation Y, except it's not. I want to get the rotation. 2-axis angle returns rotation axis. The angle. Okay. Okay. To array? Oh. Alright, this is... Music's probably a little too loud. Actually, just turn on my speakers. Okay. Rotate towards. No. Yes? No. Slurp. Two-axis angle. This might be it. What's funny is it's like return the rotation axis. But if it's a quaternion... Might be interesting to see what this is. I wonder if instead of the camera... Hold on a minute. We use the root. Yeah? Maybe we were looking at... Because the camera's pointed downward. So it's like... its rotational axes are going to be like tilted weird. Oh my gosh. I think I figured it out. Wait a minute. Okay, I didn't really figure it out. But what I found that day will change me. Feels like I should probably tone it down a little bit too. Well, it's moving. But it's not at all moving like I figured it would. Okay. So instead of the camera having a global transform, why don't we get the root global transform? Yeah. Maybe. Okay. Oh right. Let's okay, it's still 0.2. Oops. How about like 6? You don't need to rotate it that much. Yeah. Okay. All right, so left and right and up and down. That's why it's not working. Oh. Phi. You know what? I have an idea, actually. Let's take that same idea we had earlier. Okay. And then the rotation will match the angle we're at. So, yeah, up, down, side to side. Front, back, side to side. Actually the opposite. It should be. Oh my gosh. And it's the opposite again. Okay, what the hell? I have a seething hatred for this. Oh. Oh, how loathsome. Oh, you know what? Actually, no. No? My brain's starting to hurt. Huh. Negative? It's gonna get real bonkers here, folks. Yeah. Left is right and right is left. Up is down and down is up. But it switches. Like, if I hold down left... Why is it not? Okay, but if I hold down right, I move to the right constantly. Oh, no, that's not how that works. Okay. What the hell? Oh. Left, right, down and up or reversed? Left, right, down and up or reversed. If I rotate this way, left, right, down and up or reversed. Okay. This is bonkers. Everything is the complete opposite of what I was doing before. Golly. I suppose you could put a little camera in there to make it like... Okay. If I rotate it this way, left, right, up, down. I'm like losing my sanity here. Up, down. Wait a minute. No, it was correct, right? If I hit up... Oh my gosh. No. Oh my gosh. All right. Oh gosh. I got so confused. Okay. I was so busy watching the map move that I thought the map was some kind of like controller. But I'm moving the camera relative to the map. So hitting left should move the camera left relative to the world, which means the world should move to the right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and up and down. Okay, so that was all fine, and this is also fine. Oh my gosh. I need viewers. I need people who can spot this. All right. We figured it out. Yippity doo. Yippee skippy. Okay. I should not repeat Song of the South. I don't know why that came into my head. Okay. Values. Yeah, whatever. What is this? Height adjustment? Yeah, screw that. Okay. Oh wow, this actually okay, so this actually works now. That was painful. That was a lot of effort for those camera controls. Well, I did take a little bit of a break, but still I got a little confused. All right. And yeah, we're rotating around that central point, which is what we want. Some point in the middle of the screen. I exactly know where it is. Feels like it's not a central point. I don't know how to say that. I guess it is. Whatever. Okay. If it's not, it's not. Yeah, it does feel like it's rotating and like perturbating, which is wobble. You've learned a new word today. All right. Well, with great misery comes great success. And I just quoted Borat. I think I'm done. I think I'm done for today. I think that's enough. And tell you what I'm going to do. Let's see here. Yeah. All right. Oof. All right. I do a little more tweaking with the map itself because it's rendering in a weird way. Publish this branch. I'm going to publish this and I'm going to pull it into GitHub. Let's see here. What am I looking for? I hate having so many repos in GitHub. It's a little much. Cool. There we go. There's only one. We'll squash it anyway. Cool. All right. Delete the branch. Cool. Oh, no. Don't open Spotify. All right. What am I doing? Whoop. There we go. I should also... what was the other branch called? Level generator. Yes. We'll pull that into this as well. Oh no. That's fine. What are some merge conflicts with environment? Really? Incoming change, current change. Incoming. I don't see how that's a merge conflict. It's, I guess, did I edit this file? Yeah, cool. Uh-huh. Yeah. Incoming. Oh, we used the map plugin. All right, well, whatever. You know what? Actually, nuts. Can I undo all this? Oh, stash message? I don't want none of this. Huzzah. Yeah. Okay, close, don't save. If we look at lib again, it should be back to its normal, regularly scheduled program. Okay. All right, offset. Huh. Let me run this again. I thought it should just be in the middle of the screen at this point. No, it's not. This is still the middle. So what the heck is the offset for? Because we're staring right at that origin. I pronounced that very weird just now. Offset, map size. You know what? This is where it's wrong. It should not be this times gap. It should be this 1 plus gap. What? Oh. And in this case, it's not really a magic number because the 1 is supposed to represent map size. To put it another way, it'd be map size times map size. It'd be map size plus map size times gap. I'm not even certain if I said that correctly, but yeah, okay. I know I'm right now because it's in the middle of the screen. Great, good. And this is actually what I'm looking for. So neat, that's cool. Yeah, okay, so next step we're going to have to figure out how to fill in these gaps, or at least how to make a level generator that has like better connections here. This is like so hideous looking in a weird way. Or a completely normal way, I don't know. Row amplitude. Maybe I gotta like turn these values down. Let's just see if I do something a little lighter. When it's so much with so much activity, it feels just like messy noise. Yeah, that's a little better. It's a lot better actually. Why is there looks like a little weird line? I don't know what that is. Anyway, this looks a little bit better. Still has that kind of weird patterny look, but again, this isn't really carved out. What I should probably do is I should use this, like this editor. I should create like, manually create some terrain, yeah? Because I think that you get the best results when you're working on something manually. And, make something like, this. Put something together. And then what I can do is load in or get like I can like have a command that I run, maybe in game or something. And I can try to like save the layout of everything. Like on a file. And then I'll take that file and be like, okay, this file is we'll call it like level 1 or something. And I think that excuse me. I think that would be really helpful. So what I'm actually going to do is I got to get rid of this. This I think is not going to work out that well. Me trying to create some kind of like noise function or filter. I think it's a bad idea. Oops. Yeah, because really, I should probably have custom maps that I load. And then I'll be like, here's a few maps you can play. Otherwise, it's going to have that weird, like... I don't know. Like, obviously, flat isn't really going to cut it. But I can edit a flat map and make it look more acceptable. And a little more handcrafted. But doing something with, like, Perla noise, like... I don't know. I could see it working for like hills maybe or something, but I don't know if it's like here's a river. It's like okay, how do I carve that in? Like it sounds like an interesting problem, but I think I think for now what I should do for the level generator. Gosh, I don't know. You know what? I have an idea. Let's see. That's amplitude. So why don't we create something called... Whoops. Wavelength. And for the wavelength, this will be I32. With some whole numbers here. And I'll make it a little bigger. And a little more expansive now. Say I, we're going to say I times row of wavelength times column wavelength. Why are you mad? What? Cannot multiply I32. Oh, right. Does this have to be F32? Yeah, okay. Oops. Maybe we could make a little bit bigger hills, like wider. As before, it was like too bunched up. And I don't think verticality is a problem if they've got some distance. That is the complete opposite of what I wanted. That's hideous. And it frightens me. Okay, wow, yeah, no. Oh, what? All right. Jazz. Goodness, my voice. Column wavelength, and this will be row wavelength. Why are you so angry at me? This? Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah. You're F32. F32s. All right. Gee whiz, my voice. I scrunched up the wavelength. I thought that would make it bigger. Well, let's see. This should make it wider then. Yeah, that okay. That looks like a hill. Yeah, that looks like some real terrain. And this is more of what I wanted. More. Okay, let's turn up some of these values. Yeah, just a little bit. But we have some kind of way of. We can either store the noise, or we're going to store the noise, or we're going to have to Store custom maps. We could probably do both and just have it generate based on some enum setting. Yeah. Yeah. And then let's say you have water over here and you need to get it over here. It's like, okay. Let's move that water, yeah? And then you just drop everything down. And eventually we'll just watch that water flow through. I think that'll be really neat. Yeah, I think that'll be cool. I mean, it already kind of works. It looks a little weird, but like, yeah, you can kind of shape it like this. I like it. And with those camera controls, we'll be able to like look precisely down some area, some line of sight. Yeah, look at that. That's perfect. Okay. Yeah, we should work on making these settings. So in our README file, let's say this is a different project. Should have custom and procgen. And let's see, let's say should have a, actually I'll just add this in here anyway. Command line tool for in-game debugging and testing. Build map and save with, let's see, I'm going to call this the CLT. CLI. That stands for command line interface. Okay, save with CLI and should have ranges per desired results, because like you're gonna have to do a lot of tweaking. That's the one thing with some of the procedural gen stuff. It's not always chaos, and if you want specific looking things, then you're gonna have to set certain ranges. So it'll be a lot of finagling, but we can probably get those ranges to where we can procedurally generate something that, you know, looks like a hill as opposed to something that looks like mountains. So just making sure we have those settings set. So I'm going to update this. Improvements. And yeah. Okay, just a moment. Okay, anyway, well, that's been that for the hill builder. We've learned so many humbling things, and it was a learning experience, like always, but that's the whole point of the channel. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good day.